lively here, y'all. Starting to frizz. Okay. So I'm just coming at y'all real quick because I was gonna set up my computer and do StreamYard and all that, but I'm just so tired. So I wanted to read my notes. Let me how do I pull up the chat so I can see the chat? Let me wait for I guess people to come in. Let me see. Oh, so there's no one in the chat. There's no one here. Where are y'all? Oh, there's someone here. One person's watching. Hi. Let me wait for a couple people to come in. Hi, Mia. Before I start reading my notes. Thank you so much. At the beach. Okay, there's Laura. I was like, no one's here. I'm lonely. At first, I thought I just couldn't see the chat. But I got my florals and my cherries over here. Ode to Blake over here with her florals and her. I'm just waiting for a couple more people to come in so I can start the notes, but I'm gonna be reading my notes. I probably should have posted to X. Let me see if I can post real quick. I'm just gonna do a quick one and just say, hey, going live. Sorry, y'all. Yeah, let me just post this to X. So I wanted to do it like TikTok style because this is like vertical, like TikTok style, just like kind of laid back and not really like professional. See you in chat. Let me put in a GIF. Oh, thank you, Jessica Khaleesi. So much love from everyone. That's so proud. I seriously appreciate that. Oh, I have to connect real quick. So hopefully this doesn't mess up when I connect over here. Very cozy live. It is. I'm tired, y'all. It was hot. It was so hot. And then you think, oh, you're going into the courthouse. The courthouse is gonna be nice and cool. No, it was not. It was literally well, obviously it dried up, but my notes had like sweat marks on it. Everybody was sweating. It was so hot in there. And then air conditioned, yeah. Sorry, Joy. Can't believe no AC. I don't know. Is it a Vegas thing? Because yesterday I went in. Maybe it's just like that place that we went in. But every place I've been in Vegas lately has not had AC. Oh my God, Luis, coming from you, that is so sweet. Thank you so much. I'm a big fan of Luis. If y'all don't follow Nerd Report, I love his style of reporting, and I love how he always says, like, you know, that's just my opinion and stuff. And I learned a lot from him. It's like how to like report too, because we have to be careful now as like citizen journalists. Like we got a bunch of Blakes out there trying to sue. Thank you, just Khaleesi. I'm trying to post here real quick. Let me just post to X and then I'll start reading my notes. Because I want to let people on X know. And I probably should have done that before, so sorry, y'all. Let me, I don't know why it's not working. Let me hit retry real quick. It's probably because, oh, there we go. Let me see if I can put, I wanted to at least put like a GIF or something in there, but it seems like the GIFs aren't loading. Let me see. There's Nerd. Thank you for supporting Perez and reporting on this. Absolutely. I love the fashion notes. I have more. I literally did a ton of notes on the court fashion, and I wish that I could have taken pictures like outside. I have a lot more footage coming because shout out to Nico from BTS LV who took the time off on Tuesday. And let me just tell you his story. So he doesn't like, you know, he's not pro like anything, but he does like Ryan Reynolds. He's in film, and he likes, you know, Ryan Reynolds as an actor and stuff. But he's like, but this is bigger. This is about okay, Laura said she posted. So let me just repost yours, Laura. I'll just repost yours. It's just sometimes if you include a picture or like a GIF, it gets more reach. I don't know. That's just a little tip that I found. Yeah, the fashion notes are going to be good. And I debated whether to go on tonight because I'm like, does everybody have like like going live fatigue? Because you know, like everybody's just like going live back to back to back to back. But I'm like, I feel like I just want to read them. Let me see who else is Girly. Hi, Girly. Okay, so I'm gonna start here soon. But anyways, back to Nico. What was I saying about Nico? Y'all remind me. Oh, that he was like, it's more than like, oh, Ryan Reynolds or anything. He's like, it's about hey ACC. He's like, it's about the journalist. And so when you guys are saying thank you for supporting Perez, absolutely. Like this was godsend. I debated like, do I go? Do I not go? Should I go? Like, is this crazy to just go out there on a whim? But ultimately, Perez sent out the bat signal with that video, and DFJ packaged it so well in her edit that she re-edited the video that he had made into a shorter form with, you know, why it was important and everything. And that really moved me, and everything that's happening that's like sorry, I'm like trying to read the chat and I'm not used to like, you know, showing my face while I'm chatting. So let me see, hold on. Update, okay, sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna be covering Donna Adelson, you guys. I'm sure you guys are probably following a lot. Jen Does Law is so good to follow for. She's kind of like the inner city press of the Donna Adelson trial. So I'm going to be trying to do a show, I think on Sunday, on the Donna Adelson case. Yes, great edit by DFJ. You've been checking your phone all afternoon. I know I wanted to go. You guys, you know what happened? And I was supposed to go on Popcorn Planet right after, right? On his stream. My phone overheated, so it wouldn't come back on. Oh, is DFJ in the chat? She was asking when I was going to go live. And bless CFJ because she's been making these really cute thumbnails for me. I'm going to post them once I get on my computer on YouTube Studio to change the thumbnail for all the lives that I'm going on because I don't know how to do it on the phone. Just Kalisa says, oh, thank you so much. It was way too hot in Vegas, Joy. It was like hot, hot. And then I thought that it was like an airport, so I didn't bring a water bottle because I was like, oh, they're not going to let it through security. Sorry, I'm just like holding the phone because I don't have anything like to hold it with. I got to come correct, which another shout out to Nico. You guys, let me find out what the exact link is for BTS LV. You guys go follow. It's a magazine, local magazine. Let me see because I'm on my computer, guys. So this is just kind of like laid back. I'm just kind of like winding down. So I appreciate y'all. Remember to hydrate. I know. Shout out to Ari who had half a Gatorade left in her purse. And I'm like, girl, like I'm sweating. We were waiting on the judge and stuff, and she's like, I have half a Gatorade and you can just have the rest. Because at first I was like, I will waterfall it, girl. Oh, there's DFJ. I know I didn't tell you. Cool, because I was gonna go live, DFJ, but then Perez was on live. And I try to be respectful of other creators. That's why, you know, I have my butt early time because all these other creators have already had set times. Andy posted his link. Link to what, Jane? No, you're not late, Kenny. I was waiting for people to trickle in to do the burn book. Just kidding. Y'all like my little notebook I actually wanted to get a dress that was like this. I might still get it for Tuesday's thing, but there was a cute dress that had these little to wear florals. But I might just wear the same suit again because Nico gave me the idea to oh, he posted Nico's link. Oh, that's so sweet of him. I'm glad. I was trying to get Laura to post it in here so that the notebook is super cute. Yeah, so but what was I talking about? See, I'd be losing track because I'm like trying to read the chat at the same time. See, when my face isn't on there and I could just like read the chat, I can not, but I still get distracted, huh? Thank you, DFJ, for that. Oh, we were talking about the hydration story. So yeah, I was like, I will waterfall the Gatorade. And she's like, no, I'm like done with it. You can have the rest. So I ended up drinking that Gatorade and it might have saved my life. Laura, I was saying BTSLV is the magazine, their link. Because Nico from BTSLV was the one who provided all the equipment, the cool mic, none of that was my equipment. He came correct, and as a friend did a favor, so that was really really sweet of him. I can't thank him enough. And then I had him show up early because I wanted to be there at 10 to do like a walk around, like you know how Inner City Press does like the, I'm so inspired by Inner City Press too, so shout out to him. But he's boots on the ground reporting, and so I wanted to get there early and do like my little walk around the courthouse like he does and be like, you know, reporting live CJ. But I didn't realize the traffic to get there, so I didn't really time it that great. And then I'm drinking my tea, waiting to listen to tea. I took very very copious notes, like a lot, like even from like the judges scratching his face. um are they on X? That's what I was trying to figure out. They might only be on Instagram, honestly. It's I know on Instagram it's at btslv.vegas, but I don't see if they have an X. And on TikTok, they're at btslv.vegas, but I don't see an X account. I'll have to ask him. But anyways, like I can't like say enough about how great that was, how much of a help. Um, oh, okay, ACC. Yeah, she's winding down with the baby. Oh, I know. I'm like super like, ooh, I just want to take a nap, but like I gotta get these notes out to y'all. So yeah, let's get started. Um, Thank you, Christina. I appreciate you. Thank you, Khaleesi. Um, Here to hear more about the word salad. Oh, it was word salad. Okay. So I'm going to start off at 12:08 is when I started taking my notes. So we are going to do court fashion. So I picked my top 3 of court fashion and I was like, I was number 3 because I felt like I came correct. I know I was giving I keep saying Foley Faux de Dois or whatever, Joker. It was like that magenta. Where's the jacket? Oh, it's over there. Um it was that like burgundy magenta, but I felt like, you know, I had it going on. So I gave myself number 3. Number 2 went to this girl that was wearing a plum dress. um I really really loved her, or not a plum dress, a plum suit. um I had given her number 1, but then when I went back to my notes, I'm like, I forgot Ari, because Ari came correct. So this is what I wrote about court fashion. Ari, ballet flats, beige ballet flats, which was the smartest thing to do because you're walking around and stuff. So she was like really dressed well for like the job of what she was gonna do, was like the flats. Some gray slacks and then a beige silky top with like flowy sleeves, which I was like, ooh, it was so cute. We had someone in the front row wearing a floral dress and a cheetah dress. Perez in his flower suit, obviously. Lots of navy blue. Like for some reason, everybody was wearing either navy blue pants or like a navy blue coat. So it was filled with navy blue. Um, the purple plum two-piece suit. So those were like the top 3 outfits that I felt were top 3. Um, so I don't know if it's like in other courts where like on one side it's like the plaintiff and the defendant or whatever, or was it just that like one side was filling up so people were sitting on the other side? But I counted 25 people on the Perez side and 11 people on the Blake side. But then later, more people came in, but like the left side was almost all the way full, and then there was people. There was a little kid in there. There was like a 12 or 13-year old. I don't know whose kid that was. Maybe he was a little older. Maybe he's like 14, 15. But yeah, there was a kid in the back. There was 3 security people. Like, dude, they took security like really seriously. Oh, I have to tell y'all that side note. So Nico mics me up here with the other little tiny mic, the little furry mic. And then I had like my cool reporter mic um, for other people or whatever. And he forgot to take it off. He forgot to take the little mic off. So I went through security and security didn't notice the little mic. And so I went all the way up to the 7th floor in these heels that, like I told y'all, I didn't wear. Oh, is she on another interview? See, I'd be trying to wait. I should have just waited till later tonight. But I knew on the East Coast it's what time? 7, 8. It's 9 in the East Coast. So I didn't want to go on too late for East Coast people. And then I thought about just saving it for the morning show. But I knew that people wanted to get the tea. Oh, thank you, S. Umar. Great work today. I love it. I feel like I'm FaceTiming with a friend. Yeah, this is like TikTok style. This is like when people go live on TikTok. And I was just like, let's just do it TikTok style. Because I like brought out the computer and I was like, should I do StreamYard to put stuff up or whatever? But I was just like, I just want to like, do it like this. Keep going, girl. I know you're here for the tea and I'm going on tangents. So, well, one of the tea was that I got caught up in security. I almost didn't like go up. Oh, hey, Pam. Where's Pam? I didn't see her. Oh, there she is. Hey, Pam. So, so I'm going through the second thing, but you guys, it was so cute because the security guard knew that I was there. Like it was my first time reporting. So they all kind of knew that it was like my first time. And so they were just so cute because they were like, it's okay, you have time. Like they were really supportive of me. It was really cool. Shout out to the security at the, is it Lloyd George? I want to say George Floyd. What the heck is the name? It's Lloyd something. What's the name of the courthouse? I still can't get it. But shout out to the security there. But really quick, another tangent. Sorry, as I'm going through my notes. Megan can wait for replay crew. We're here for CJ. Yeah, I mean, if y'all want to support, if you guys want to do replay crew here, replay crew there. As long as everybody gets watched. But on another tangent, okay, so when we got there, they told us, like when we were setting up and stuff, they told us like, what are you doing here? And we're like, oh, we're here for the Perez versus Lively thing. And then he's like, did you ask for permission? And we're like, permission? Oh, because like, Nico was setting up his little tripod thing and everything. He's like, did you ask for permission? And we're like, oh, we didn't know you had to ask. And I was like, are you not allowed to record here? Because I was like, I read the rules. And I think maybe they left us alone because I told them I read the rules, but I don't know. Could have been one or two things, but I was like, I read the rules and it said within the courthouse. I was like, is this considered within? Like, is it within the bounds of the courthouse? And he was like, someone's going to come down and talk to you. Like, my boss is going to come down and talk to you. And I mean, I can ask Nico if they ever came down and talked to him, but no one came down before I went into the thing. So that's why I didn't, like, at first I was going to, like, start going live right away. And I didn't go live right when I was there because we were waiting for somebody to come and talk to us. And then later I was like, whatever, let's just wait until they tell us we can't. But I thought that was really weird, like permission. Like, did you have to have like a media pass? But that's how the security guard found out. So maybe that's why they didn't give us a hard time. But I was just like, it's my first time. I'm no longer a keyboard journalist. I'm, boots on the ground now. And it seemed to endear him to me. So then he told his buddies and stuff. And, me, I was just yapping. So, yeah, anyways, that's the security part. They stopped me. I had to go all the way back down in the hills, give the mic to Nico, go all the way back up, and then enter. So when I finally did enter, it still took like another 15 minutes for the judge to come. It is so hot inside the courtroom. Where is the damn AC? That's what I wrote. Yes, I got 1K. Thank you. Shout out to Andy who shouted me out as well. I saw a lot of people from his channel coming over saying like, I just subscribed. I'm here from Andy's. So that was really cool. And that was a really cool milestone to hit. Not only did I get monetized today, but I also hit 1K followers. Like and this is what's so exciting about this story is like, there's so many like, you know how they say like that, sorry, I'm like looking at my computer and trying to read this. I hope the lighting, because I'm using the computer light to light in here because it's about to start getting dark. Oh, hi, Leanne. It's been awesome. Oh, you're doing the rounds. Boots on the ground journalist. Yes, Pam, I'm out there like inspired by Inner City Press and Lauren Conlin. Shout out to Lauren Conlin. I didn't get to do my Diddy steps because I literally wanted to an ode. And this is not like, oh, like I'm trying to be like them or nothing. No, it was like an homage to them. like an ode, like a respectful thing. Like I wanted to recreate it as an ode to them. Um, one of the things was like, you know how Lauren was on the steps at the Diddy trial, and then this like freaking cockroach comes out. Obviously, I didn't want to recreate the cockroach, but I wanted to sit on the steps because I like literally respected her so much. And that's some of the things that inspired me too to come out and do boots on the ground was, you know, my respect for someone like that. Because I would watch her every day after, you know, doing the Diddy trial. And especially when it was like heavy stuff, like the Cassie part. And she'd come out and she'd sit on the court steps and she'd chat just like this, like how I am, like just like with her phone like that. She would just chat. So, anyways, I keep going off on these tangents, but whatever, y'all. Let me get through it. So it was really, really quiet. Like nobody, it was me and Ari being whisper twins. We were like, but we were pretty much the only ones kind of like talking, whispering, but it was super, super quiet. Like we were waiting for the judge. So, let's see. Oh, the wall clock. Cause not me, like the wall clock was like a silver, like, it was like on the side of the building or like the side of the courtroom, and it was like silver dots and then just like, you know, the hands. But why was I fighting for my life trying to figure out the time? I was like, I haven't had to look at an analog clock, or not analog. Is it analog? Yeah, digital analog, right? Girl, I mean, girl, like whoever, audience, I was fighting for my life, trying to figure out what time it was. But so, anyways, I wrote that on my notes. I'm like fighting for my life trying to figure out the time. Um, so let me see, what else did I write here? Oh, I was like, there was a guy. I was wondering who the people were on the side table. So there was like Perez all by himself on one table. On the other table, it was I put a little old guy with glasses that ends up being. Where's DFJ? Is she still in here? Is it Pucker? Um, what's his name? It was the guy that's like the Nevada regular counsel, but I love how I put a little old guy with glasses. They had the DFJ. What's the guy's name? The guy, is it, what is his name? The Nevada judge, or not the judge, the Nevada lawyer, the one that's for that. If you can put it in the chat, because I forgot his name. Momentous Day. Yes, I wanted to be a part of his. Richard Parker. What did I say? So it was Richard Parker, not the little old guy with glasses, but okay. It was Richard Parker, right? All the way at the far end. And then in the middle, it was the, and this is not coming from me, this is DFJ. DFJ said it was a DEI hire. No, she said that it was because she's African American, that it might be a possibility that that's why they wanted to have her here, because the judge is African American and because of the plantation Khaleesi stuff. I don't know. That was, DFJ was like, that is not CJ's opinion. This is my own opinion. But yeah, so she was basically saying that that girl was there. So I don't know if DFJ, if you could put her name, it was the associate. She was in the middle. And then it was Miss Meryl Gavernsky that I was like, oh, she sounds great on paper, but she was fighting for her life, y'all. She was literally fighting for her life. And so that was like the next table. So imagine one table here, one table here, right? And then we're behind Perez or whatever. I was like in the second to last row. Yeah, I don't know. Ari said that a lot of the people there were like press and stuff. So I didn't recognize anybody. It was just like a lot of people. So I couldn't differentiate between fans or press or what, or Blake's people or anything. But yeah, and then there was this other table. So one table and then there's another table like this that had two people. And I don't know if that was additional lawyers for Blake or if that was part of the court or what. It could have been like the court clerk and somebody else. And then in front of that was the typing person. And you know what? DFJ literally told me I might go tomorrow. I might go tomorrow morning. I might Uber over there tomorrow morning and get that, because I forgot DFJ. Like, I literally was just trying to get home because it was so hot. But she had even told me that I could get the transcript and court records right away, right? Isn't that what you had said? Yes, I'm there until, yeah, I'm here until Tuesday. Yes, I will be there at the court hearing on Tuesday. Yes, okay, so I'm not a bot. Thank you, DFJ, for answering. But yeah, DFJ, you literally like reminded me, and then it's because my phone overheated, and then when you don't have access to a phone and stuff, it was just, I was just ready to get home. So I might go over there and pick it up, go to the clerk to get the latest docs and ruling. Yeah, I missed that. I'm sorry, DFJ. Do you think the judge today was expecting Perez to be unprepared? I don't think he was expecting him to be unprepared. I think he was expecting him to be prepared. I think the judge was like super laid back. So let me keep going into the notes. Okay, Kenny. Kenny's saying she'll be in and out of the chat. Okay. So he asks them to introduce themselves, right? So this is 12:27 p.m. now. So it's about what, 4 minutes after I said 12:23 was when he came in. So at 12:27 p.m. he says, please identify yourselves. And Perez goes, Mario Lavandera Jr., professionally known as Perez Hilton. That's how he introduced himself. And then the other guy introduced himself, and he said he introduced the other two people, Meryl Gavarnsky or whatever. And then the judge was like, okay, out of all of y'all, who's going to be giving the argument? And he's like, Meryl. So he's basically like, what do you want to be called? He asks. The judge asks Perez, what do you want to be called? Because he was having trouble saying his last name, like, Mr., I'm sorry, what would you prefer to be called? And he's like, whatever you think is easiest. So I'm gonna be looking down at my notes. Sorry guys. Oh, thank you, Khaleesi. But not the transcript. It's okay. Okay. Also, federal court probably closed tomorrow for holiday. Oh, okay. Yeah, that was a party foul, DFJ. I could have gotten all that while I was there. Okay, so, and then he's like, whatever's easier for you, judge. And he's like, what do you prefer? And he's like, and I love like the way that Perez talked. It was so professional, and I was inspired by it. Like his cadence, the way he stopped and was like, he was just so respectful. And I'll get into it more as I read the notes. But I hope it doesn't get too dark in here in a second, because I don't know where the lamp or the light is. So I'll have to pause, I guess, unless the computer can give me light through this, but it's starting to get dark. Okay, it says, what was that? Okay. So he says, first I want to ask, okay, so then after he asks how he wants to be referred to, he tells Gavarnsky, should I just call her MG? I don't know, because I don't even know how to say. Should I say Meryl? Meryl. We'll just say Meryl. He asks Meryl to step up or whatever, and he's like, I have one question for you. If the case were to transfer over, he's a resident, and he's, had his address here as a resident in Nevada. He's like, it would be a burden to him. And he's like, just like you guys had to travel from DC, he would have to travel to NY. And I'm sure you know that traveling is hard. So right away, the judge was very compassionate towards Perez. Like, he's like, so first, this is my first thing, right? I want to address this, the fact that he's acknowledging that it was a burden for, yes, mainstream media does. Yes, there was, you know what, as mainstream media stepped behind, I give kudos to Channel 8, Channel 3 was there, Channel 11 was there. And at least they're covering it. And I don't know what spin they put it on. Someone said they saw me on the news on Channel 8 because I was behind Perez when he was coming out. So that was funny. Oh, ACC's putting the baby to bed. Oh, so precious. Good night, sweet baby. Yeah, that live was so wholesome. It was super cute. And I loved that that's the emotions everybody was going through. But I was praying, like, I was like, something like, this is not how it ends. Like, on the way home, I was praying. I was just praying about it. And then look, it ended up that he got a win. And so that's why I was like, even when I was interviewing him, I'm like, you can't lose faith. Like, this is part of a bigger picture. Like, as it's going, I feel like personally, God's creating things to like open up our eyes to different things. Like, the biasness in the judicial system at times, the the way community can come together, the way different facts about journalism and stuff like that. I know y'all probably just like, girl, just stick to the notes and read them. Hold on. Such a blow to Blake. Yes. Oh, it's 2:30. Okay, Leanne, good night. Thanks for coming. I know. Leanne's like, just get through the damn notes. I'm tired. I'm trying to go to bed. I'm emotionally exhausted, and this wasn't even me. I can imagine Perez. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty tired too. I was like, should I just save it for the morning? But um I just wanted to get it out, frankly. And then my morning show is at, I guess I could have just changed the morning show time. Because my morning show time is normally EST time. And so to move it to Pacific time, it's 6 a.m. over here. And I'm like, ain't no way I'm waking up at 6 a.m. I'm sleeping in. So he's like, first of all, I want to address that. Number two, um, oh no, so that he's like, I want you to address that. I don't know why I put number two there. So then she goes and she's like, absolutely, Your Honor. Like, because he's like, you know how it was when you traveled from DC, like, why wouldn't that put a burden on you? And he's like, absolutely, we understand that position, like, absolutely, I know it's a burden. And he's like, but he has availed himself to SDNY because he's written 20 letters and protective orders. And then this is when he cuts her off. So he was like, I ain't trying to hear all that. He cuts her off. And he's like, what I'm asking is the like, I'm not asking about jurisdiction right now. I'm asking about what is the burden, like, how can you overcome the burden to him? Um and then he says, hold on. Oh, he's like, because the way that all of this, the amount of production that's in the docket, he's like, I anticipate that there's going to be a few hearings if it does, get sent to I just realized I was covering the mic, so can y'all hear me? I hope so. It does get sent to New York. It's going to be a few hearings. And that's when she was like, he's only had like 2 hearings. She was basically saying that Judge Lyman has only had 2 hearings on this, that, she goes like this, because he says travel at least 23 times in this case. He's like, he estimates that he'd have to travel at least 2 to 3 times, not 23, sorry. He's like, with all the production that's going on and everything, my estimate is that he would have to travel to New York at least 2 to 3 times. And then she goes, respectfully, I disagree. But like, really, like, Tony, like, respectfully, I really disagree. There's not going to be hearings. He's only had 2 hearings, Judge Lyman, and he's already ruled on other, subpoena stuff. And those people didn't have to show up, and he'd be amenable to virtual hearings. And then this is when he claps back. So, DFJ, if you're still here, can you, if you want to keep going or if you want to rest? No, like, I want to get the tea out. Thank you, Leanne. We have been so woman about so many rulings lately, so this one is uplifting. Yes. But if DFJ, are you still here? Yeah, she's like, I'm staying here, don't worry. What's the name of the judge so I can refer to him? Because I forget his name. Bowman? What is the name of the judge? Because, he was clapping back. He didn't like Meryl, y'all. Like, so this is kind of like a sneak peek for Tuesday. And like, I don't know. Maybe that's just my perception, but I mean, I wrote Bolware. Okay, Bolware. I wrote, let me sit up a little bit because my back's starting to hurt. Okay. Bolware. Because I wrote like spicy, like, y'all should see my notes. I was like talking to myself in my notes. I was like, ooh, tea, spicy. And then I was like, girl, like, concentrate and get the good stuff. Don't be talking to yourself in here. Because I remember on one part I wrote tea, exclamation, exclamation. I put Easter egg because there's like a little Easter egg that was dropped by the judge, but I don't know. I might have heard it wrong. Anyways, so he goes like this. This is his clap back. He's like, for the record, I spoke to Judge Lyman about this case. And then she was just like, okay. Like, he put it on notice, like, for the record, I spoke to him, and the issue about jurisdiction. And he's concerned about enforcement. To enforce it, right? He's concerned. So this is what Judge Lyman was concerned about. Love the notes, CJ. He's concerned that let's say that New York, like he goes to New York and then New York tells him, yes, you have to comply with the subpoena. Well, then it would come back to Nevada anyway, right? He says the privilege rule doesn't exclude that. It transfers, there's an order. It transfers here if there's an order. It transfers back here if there. So he's like, I ain't trying to play no volleyball, whatever, tennis, pickleball, whatever it is. He's like, I'm trying to go back and forth. You know, I always use that GIF on on X. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to read the chat and read the notes and so he's like, I'm not trying to volley back and forth with y'all. Because so then he goes, then it comes back here. He could then raise the issues again, so I have to consider them. He's like, now judges will have to do double the work. My view is that I'd have to consider it again. Like, why should I have to consider this again? Like, it's already been brought here to me. Why am I going to go over there for him to rule, for then me to have to come back because, say, Perez doesn't want to comply? And I don't know if it's coming up on the notes, a spoiler alert or whatever, but yeah, I think the judge went back and probably told Judge Lyman, like, look, this guy is, I mean, because he did a really, really good job. Because how weird is it that as soon as he left, then the ruling came in or whatever. Like, I don't know what time it was filed or what. Oh, thank you, Blake Brown. No, it's not Blake Brown. Everybody's like, is it Blake Brown? It's not. It's Brush Roots Salon. Is it Brush Roots? I forget the name of the salon, y'all. So anyways, no, it's something else. That's not the right name. It's something Roots. Okay, so anyways, where was I? He's concerned about enforcement. Oh yeah, that I thought that maybe he called the judge, like Judge Lyman, and told him. So he's like, my view is that whatever. And he's like, why? He's like, I need you to tell me why. Why would I do that? Like, that's what he told her. And he's like, oh, and then she tries to come back all snarky, like super snarky. She's like, Your Honor, there was a lot of ifs in your statements. Oh, because, he was like, if he fights it, if da da da. Oh, the spoiler that I was going to give is that Perez, when he goes up to talk, he says like, oh, just by the way, for the record. So that means he was paying attention to the first part. He's like, for the record, I would appeal it. And I would, like, if it was going to be enforced, I would be held in contempt over there because I would not give up my stuff. I would appeal it to a higher court or whatever. So he later says that, but that's just a spoiler alert. So yeah, so she gets all snarky and she's like, Your Honor, that was a lot of ifs in your statement. So then she goes into Judge Lyman has decided because Lively has stated state versus federal, and those are all issues of hypotheticals. Oh, so she starts to go into like how, because he's like talking about the Nevada Shield law at some point, and how, then he'd have to rule on like how the New York court would have to rule on a Nevada state law. And how like that would be like, that doesn't make any sense. Like I should just rule on the Nevada state law instead of having a New York court make decisions on a Nevada state law. Like that's preposterous. And she's just saying like all these issues that you brought up are hypotheticals. But if you retain it, there will be, and then she like her ending statement is like, if you retain it, there'll be two courts trying to do it. So she's like, you can't retain it because then it'll be two courts. And then that's when I put, ooh, spicy, because this is when it got really spicy. So then it goes back to the judge and he's like, you're basically arguing against yourself because you're basically saying that you don't want there to be two courts. But that whole thing is that there's going to be two courts anyways, because if it goes to New York and then it has to come back to me, there's going to be two courts. So either way, it's going to be two courts. So I put, ooh, spicy, because I was like, he clapped back. The judge was not having it. He's like, he would still fight it in two courts. And I put exclamation, exclamation. And then she's like, Yeah, but that's only if he doesn't comply, Your Honor. If the court denies the motion to quash, it's a possibility that it ends up back here. It says, given the litigious nature, we know. Oh, so then the judge claps back and is like, ma'am, oh, because she's like, it's a what if. She keeps saying, like, these are all hypotheticals. This is what if. It's a possibility, blah, blah. And then he's like, ma'am, given the litigious nature, we know these parties cannot agree. So he's like, come correct. Like, we already know this is not going to go like kumbaya here. Like, let's just be real about it. And obviously this, I'm all summarizing. Y'all will see the transcript. This is just my notes and me just like telling it to y'all. So I don't have a banner. I probably should have done it on StreamYard because this is all allegedly entertainment purposes. But no, I'm doing the best I can from the notes, but obviously the notes are not verbatim. They're like my style of writing. Like obviously it's like spicy, clap back, like I'm sure the transcripts will come out and you guys can double check them. Stupid spell check. What was it? Wish the judge was over the New York case. Yeah, it is privileged. Okay, definitely not using the Blake Brown shampoo. No, it's not Blake Brown. It's argan oil, y'all. Why it looks so like shiny and pretty? It's argan oil. Wait, Nag said Blake has now subpoenaed Friedman's private investigator. Like she is wild. Yeah, Khaleesi, it's argan oil. And just like a round brush to blow dry. And currently I'm using Mane and Tail shampoo, so it's horse shampoo. Shout out to DFJ. Well, no, it's Ashley Brown Eve that has the horses. I don't think DFJ has the horses, but yeah, it's horse shampoo. It's called Mane and Tail. Okay, so she's like, the issue of having two judges supports the transfer, but it will still be two judges down the road. Like that's what he was trying to tell her. And I think that's why Ultimate Lyman was like, I don't want none of this Dewey. And that's a quote from the Dewey Cox story. If you know, you know. No, he didn't want none. Like he did not want any part of it. He's like, I get that hasn't happened, but we don't think that that's unreasonable. Like you don't think that's unreasonable. He's like, I feel fairly that at some point, I'll still be involved in this case. Like he's just like, tell me why I should transfer it to New York for it to bounce back to me, and yeah. So he's like, so we don't know, but he's like, you'll agree that Rule 45 doesn't expressly prohibit it or something. He was basically saying. And then this is where he was like, he talked about Judge Lyman had just filed a motion and oh no. This is when she was saying that she's like, Perez, filed this like some kind of motion or something. Like, oh, the emergency motion is what she was talking about. Perez had just filed the emergency motion. Sorry, y'all, my hand's getting tired. Hold on. Let me sit up a little bit. I'll sit up a little bit and it's getting dark, so I hope y'all can still see me. Okay. So here we go. We're still reading. What does it smell like or scent? Argan oil? It doesn't have who uses I use Mane and Tail shampoo. Oh, your husband does. Oh, you just saw it on X that okay. Okay. So he commented about the relevance and she kept calling us content providers, not content creators. The content providers, she kept saying. So it says, yeah, he just filed some kind of emergency motion. And I didn't even know. It was like word salad. We're like, what are you talking about, his emergency motion? So does anybody in the chat know what that emergency motion was? Does anybody know what that emergency motion was? Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to just get comfy because I got the laptop. Okay. Yeah, so she brought up this emergency motion randomly. And then she's like, content providers are relevant to her claims. These content providers are relevant to her claims. So this is the word salad part. Case law demonstrates judicial commodity and efficiency. And the federal California judge just transferred a motion to quash to Lehman. Um, so this is Magistrate Rickland in California. So I'm not sure, but she gave the case number, so I can look it up what case number she gave. And this might be good for, well, I guess it doesn't matter because no one's transferring anything now. But when you have a case, and so she quotes him, when you have a case so far in discovery, the best thing is to, send it to the original jurisdiction. Oh, he filed an emergency motion regarding Lyman's ruling granting the MTC because now Wayfair has to turn over everything. Therefore, the subpoena is duplicative and moot. Oh, so I didn't know that Lyman, because I've been out of the loop with the rulings, with the traveling. Was that yesterday that he filed that? Okay. Anyways, okay. So, he acknowledges that it's a tight timeline. Depot's closed. Everything's closing up. Oh, that's what she was saying. She's like, everything's been closed. Who said while I'm empathic? Was that her that said while I'm empathic, or was that the other judge? I don't know who that was. Okay, so sorry, that was like at the end of those notes. I don't know who that was, but it says typically without transfer to decide a new area of law, he will have to issue a decision about Nevada law in New York. Oh, that's again the judge is telling her again what he said. Like, you didn't answer what I just said. I was like, about him having to issue a decision about Nevada law in New York. That weighs heavily against a transfer. And then he says, oh, this is where he got really like, what? And then she's like, as a proud Nevadan, I anticipated that you would have that view. And then he cuts her off and he's like, no, 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 no. Not just as a Nevadan. This is not based on whether I'm a Nevadan. He's like, it's what's in the writings of the opinion. Basically, like, he's saying, I'm following the law or something like that. Like, he was basically like, this has nothing to do with me being a proud Nevadan. I'm just following the law. And then she's like, then she tries to backtrack and she's like, absolutely sorry. I didn't mean to take away from that. It was the craziest thing to watch because he did not like her. I'm telling y'all, he did not like her. He's like, tell me. And like when she was word salading it, you could tell like he was just like, okay, that's not what I asked. I'm saying it under my breath, but he was basically, that's not what I asked. Like, he was just not having her word salad. And I like the judge. He was like, that's why I'm like, in the beginning, it seemed like it was going to go in his favor. It was really weird how it just like the ebbs and flow of it. So then it says, tell me how Nevada law wouldn't apply. He's like, tell me how Nevada law wouldn't apply. Oh, because she was basically arguing that, he would have to use federal law instead of Nevada law because there's already been a case on whether which law to use, state or federal, and that his decision was to use federal law. And so she's like, he's like, tell me how Nevada law wouldn't apply. He's like, this isn't just some industrial accident in New York. He's like, this is an alleged incident that's digital. And he's like, I don't even know why New York has this case in its jurisdiction. He's like, because this is a national, this happened nationally in the digital sphere. And so this might be like, now that we're getting into like digital lawsuits and digital creators, and I wonder if this will later on have like new legal rules for like digital, like jurisdictional rules for stuff that happens digitally, and lawyers can chime in or whatever, because I don't know if there already is. But this judge was basically like, I don't even know why Blake Lively has a case in New York. Like, this happened all over. Let me read the chat. What DFJ say? Would you retract, DFJ? Oh, thank you, Delcy. They only have to turn over everything through February something, not as of now. Maybe that's why. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going, y'all. And I appreciate everyone in the chat. We have 92 people here. I appreciate everybody on the chat. If all the people that subpoenaed what? If Lyman inherits all the people Blake subpoenaed, all the people that Drake and UMG have subpoenaed, and all the people that Stephanie Jones subpoenaed, Lyman's caseload will double. But Drake versus UMG is Drake Vargas or Judge Vargas. They set to film in Nevada, but BL called in sick. Oh yeah, because then it would have been Nevada jurisdiction. Okay. So she asserts federal judge. Wait, where was I? Your question presupposes that a state's rule would apply and not federal. And then the judge like interrupts her. Like he's like, lady, like, because she keeps saying your question presupposes. Like she kept saying like, well, that's what ifs or you're whatever. And that's what was starting to like irritate him. It felt like because she was like, you're like here where she's like, your question presupposes that the state's rule would apply and not federal. And then the judge interrupts and he's like, this is bi-coastal with claims in all kinds of different states. And then that's when she quoted Judge Lyman. He's like, this is the federal law, whatever. And she quoted on page 7 of WL, whatever. She gave the number. I wrote it down where he says that federal law was going to apply. That he will defer to federal law instead of state law. And both can apply to give Hilton max protection. And then this is a little Easter egg she dropped. Yes, they did quote Magistrate Judge Richland, but this one was not Judge Richland that they quoted. This was Judge Lyman that they quoted about the federal law. But they earlier, yes, CFJ, they did. Yeah, they quoted him earlier. That was what was it? The quote when he's like, when you have a case this far into discovery, the case belongs in the original whatever discovery. Oh, no, from earlier? Okay. All right, I'm going to try and get through this. I'm getting distracted with the chat. Okay. Federal law will defer to state law. So he's like, and then she goes, we don't even know if this is his jurisdiction because docket 5, and this might be a sneak peek at what they're going to argue on Tuesday. This might be a sneak peek. It says docket 5. And then she just said 5. I'm like, docket 5. She's like, I have to look at the number. And then she never came back with the number. So maybe DFJ can help us out with the docket. But he says there's a docket where he lists an LA address as a place to receive electronic mail. Yes, he actually won because right after court, Judge Lyman ruled that he has no jurisdiction. So now it's going to go back. So Tuesday, so he hasn't really quashed the motion. Tuesday will be that hearing. That's when she's like, not only does he have an LA address listed to receive electronic mail, which is weird because why would you have an LA address to receive electronic mail? Wouldn't that be an email address? That thing was weird, but she basically says that there might be another address that Perez has that's in LA. The relationship statements, he's like, and the statements made by Blake Lively have to deal with things in New York. It's the statements about Judge Lyman. It's his statements about Blake Lively. It's his statements about Brian Friedman, and they all are from New York. And then he's like, basically, are you done? Like, okay. And then she goes, thank you for your thoughtful questions, Your Honor. And he literally just like, the judge just paused and stares. Like after she said that, he was just like, and then like was just really quiet. And I thought he was going to say something else. And he didn't. He just like stared at her like, So then finally, like, it was like an awkward stare because I'm like, okay, what is he doing? And then he's like, okay, Mr. Hilton, it's your turn. Calls him up and he's like, let me see if I can just balance it right down my computer. My hand is starting to hurt. I'm literally holding it. Okay, there. Is that better? Okay. The lighting's gonna get like all dark because it just got dark in here. Unless y'all want to like quickly, let me go see if I can find a light. Hold on, y'all. This is just kind of like TikTok lifestyle. Give me a second. Let me just go find a light. Okay, y'all. Hold on. that better? There's a light now. Because it got like super dark on me. Okay. Love your commentary. Yes. Yes, he still has to win his motion. Oh, send the docket 5 to my ex. Okay, yeah, I see that. I got a message. So let me just pop this up on my computer. So okay. Let me go look. Hold on. Oh, this is docket 5. But where's the LA address? I don't see no LA address. I don't see no LA address on there. DFJ. It just says this is my electronic address. It's my responsibility to. So yeah, that's weird. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep reading, y'all. Sorry, I'm just looking at the. Oh, you cut it off in case I shared it. Oh no, I can't share because I'm from my phone, so I don't even know how to share from here. Oh, so there was an address on there. Okay, well, maybe he gave a different address because of what's happening. Electronic address isn't a physical address, exactly. But yeah, that's what she tried to come with. Oh, thank you, Just Khaleesi. She said, I love your commentary. You can turn off your camera if it makes it more comfy. No, I like it. I like it being like you're on FaceTime with a friend. That's what always happened to me when I would listen to some of Zach's stuff. Sometimes I would prop it up, or Bocce Gohawk. Okay. My alarm went off. But we always saw her picture. I remember Bocce Gohawks. I would like binge a bunch of her TikToks at one time, and then sometimes I'd try to like reply back because I thought I was like on FaceTime with her. It was crazy. So then he's like, Mr. Hilton, the burden about whether it's here or elsewhere, what do you think would be the burden? And he came correct. He was like, Your Honor, first of all, I would like to thank you for this hearing. This hearing is going to impact journalists in Nevada, and not just in Nevada, but everywhere. So he was like fully prepared. If it's transferred, it's not what's the burden on me to litigate it here instead of in New York. If I am transferring on not what's the burden on you. Oh, okay. So that's when he stops him. So he's like, thank you, Your Honor. This is going to impact journalists and everything. And then he stops him again. He's like, no. If I'm transferring it, what's the burden on you to litigate in New York than here? Because he was basically saying like, it's going to be a burden for me to like have to draft up paperwork and stuff like that. And he's like, but you would still have to do that here or in New York. He's like, we're getting ahead of, like, he's like, you're getting ahead of everything. Let's be clear. I'm not saying I won't order the motion to quash any other burden other than travel. What is another burden? Prep is going to be required no matter what. And that's when he was like the judge was like scratching his head because he's like, he was trying to ask Perez what other than traveling would be a burden. But what Perez was trying to say was it was burdensome because it was a ton of, questions and stuff. And it was burdensome because, he has to take time away from his kids. And I thought that was a great answer. He has to take time away from his kids and his job in order to reply to these. But what he was saying was like, you're going to have to do that anyway. So and he was trying to help him out. He's like, something other than travel. And I know Ari was saying like he should say financial issues, like, the financial burden of traveling. And I was saying I thought he should have said like his kids because he had made a video prior to the court about how he had just dropped his kids off at school. And, like if he has to travel to New York, who would drop off the kids and stuff? Reading my notes, all the facial expressions. Oh, thank you, Jackie. Okay. Judge Lyman issued it. I hope I'm not like having like some weird facial expressions. Like what? And his elderly mom, because I'm not even looking at the expressions. I'm like, what are they? Judge Lyman issued an order on a motion to quash, and he ruled orders relating to to who? Oh, to Helton, but he has never issued an order on jurisdiction. When I spoke with Judge, okay, so wait, I skipped ahead, and so that was like the last thing of Perez, and he's like, thank you. And then at 12:50, this is already what we're we started at 12:08, 12:27, 12:08 is when, no, 12:23. 12:23 is when it started. So this is 25 minutes into the 27 minutes into the hearing. He says, when I spoke to Judge Lyman, and that's when I was like, are the judges allowed to talk to each other like that? Because I felt like, dang, you just had a whole conversation with Judge Lyman and we don't know what that was. We're spilling the tea. Yes. Yes. So this is kind of moot for me to be reading this because now we know that it's not going to be transferred. But this is just the play-by-play. If y'all wanted to know before the transcript comes or whatever. This is just the play-by-play of what was going on in there. The in-camera review coming up. Blake is just so annoying. Yeah, so he's like, he's basically like, yeah, me and Judge Lyman have been talking back and forth. So this is where he says again, he hadn't ruled yet. He would have to wait for the ruling on jurisdiction on Perez, he was saying, because he was talking about how the Second Circuit Court would have to decide if, he's like, he's saying that it was because the Second Circuit Court would have to decide because if he decides on something and then Perez decides to appeal it, then it would be like another court, Second Circuit Court, that would get involved. And so basically what they were talking about is like, how do we best streamline this? And so it's less work and we don't involve any other people or whatever. He's like, to rule, oh, he's like, I don't feel like it's, and this is where like it just like there was a detour. So I don't know what happened, what he talked to the clerk about or what, because he talks to the clerk and then this is where it takes a detour. Because I was like, oh, he's definitely gonna rule, like, you know, I felt like there was gonna be a motion to quash right then and there because he was gonna or not the motion to quash but just the transfer. I thought he was gonna deny the transfer right then and there. They might look at his money in the bank. Poor CJ, go to bed. You're on Texas time. No, I'm a night owl. I'm not a bot. You obviously don't see my ex. And I'm waiting for some dinners here soon. So, no, I'm gonna eat dinner and then, you know, I'll crash out or whatever. I get to sleep in tomorrow. I have no show, remember? I just enjoy my Labor Day weekend. I will be keeping y'all posted. CJ is always up late. Yes, Christina. I'll be like, because Laura goes to bed early, and then I'll be like, Christina, are you awake? Because she's Pacific time, so she'll be awake. And y'all remember I used to wake up Leanne all hours of the night. I hope Ari does find a lawyer to help pro bono. Yeah, that would be nice to have a lawyer. Obviously, it's always good. But I felt like the judge respected the pro se stuff a lot as well. So if he doesn't have to spend any money, yes, for sure. Oh, you're welcome, Khaleesi. So what time stamp was your last one? This is 12:50 when so he decides to talk to the clerk at 12:50, and then this is everything after that. Oh, everyone's redacting their messages because all of a sudden I'm hearing. I didn't even know you could do that. You're a part of history on this one too, yeah. Okay, when I spoke with Judge Lyman, he hadn't ruled. He hadn't ruled yet, and it would have to wait for the ruling on jurisdiction on Perez. Oh, I already went through that. Okay, it's not appropriate. If he doesn't have jurisdiction, I wouldn't have to transfer it. He's like, I honestly just don't even want to argue the merits today. He's like, I want to defer ruling on this motion to quash until Lyman issues jurisdiction. If I'm not, so I don't know if that was the clerk that whispered something to him, but the clerk was, he looked kind of young. He had like curly hair. Yeah, he was whispering with the clerk. So now I'm wondering, I'm like, did the clerk say something to him? Because now that I look at the timestamps and everything all went down, I'm like, what did the clerk say to him? I don't know. But anyways, so he let both of them argue. Then he talked to his clerk and then came back with this. He's like, I want to defer the ruling on the motion to quash until Lyman issues jurisdiction. If I'm not going to transfer it, then I'll set a hearing, right? If he's not going to transfer it over to New York, I'll set a hearing. If he does, I'll not set a hearing. So basically, he's saying if if Lyman says that he has jurisdiction, then there will be no hearing, because then it'll just go over there. And then he asks Meryl, like, how do you feel about that? And she's like, I'm amenable to you, Your Honor. And then he's like, he said something, this is where I put Easter egg. He said something about how he's like, oh yeah, ha ha ha, I know that you started your first trial here in Nevada. So, but I'm like, this can't be her first. Was he talking about his first? Oh, he was talking about her first trial in Nevada. But I don't know. I was like, I wonder if her very first trial she ever did was in Nevada, like as a lawyer or something. Because he's like, yeah, I know that you started your first trial here in Nevada. So I don't know. He said that as a side note. So I don't know. I'd have to look up where she first did her very first trial or something, or if he was just saying that this is your first trial here in Nevada. I don't know, but that's what Andy was saying, that she was saying. Depending on the ruling and appeal, we could be back here next week, right? It may be beneficial to file a supplemental briefing. And he said a supplemental briefing on the 2014 decision of the committee of the, oh, this is what she was saying, that she was going to file a supplemental briefing on the 2014 decision of the Committee of Nevada Legislature to consider remaining affiliation. So I don't know what the heck that meant. So I'm going to have to Google that and figure out what that meant. Lyman heard about the super nice judge that died in Rhode Island, and it softened up Judge Lyman because he wants to be remembered as a good guy too. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Appreciate, and so then they asked, how quick can you produce? Oh, okay. This is where he gives Perez his flowers, because then when he's like, I appreciate and respect your argument. Those were his exact words. Like, I even put it in quotations and underlined it, because he said, I appreciate and respect your argument. Like, tell me that was not giving him his flowers right then and there. Like, and Perez is like, oh, I lost when he got out. And I'm like, no, you didn't. Like, the judge likes you. He said, again, if Perez is watching, shout out to Perez. Perez, he said, because I know he watches it sometimes, appreciate and respect. Oh, thank you, Laura. I did just get monetized today. So thank you for the super chat. So I appreciate that. That is so sweet of you. You're so sweet. Thank you, Laura. I know. And I'm like over here, I need some water. I have a soda right here. Let me see if I can just grab this soda and drink a little bit of this. Tiny little break real quick, y'all. ASMR. Like on TikTok. Okay. Thank you, Laura. That was so sweet. I appreciate that. That'll be my coffee money for Tuesday. Congratulations on 1K. Oh, thank you. Yes, I'm telling you, I got monetized and hit 1K on the same day. And I was worried about, like, you know, coming out here and, like, am I now taking this journalist thing seriously? This started off as a hobby back in January. I was on a whole other path. And so I was like, is this, you know, am I really doing this? Okay. So then he goes, that he appreciates, okay, so he's like, I wanted to let you know to be prepared to produce fairly quickly and in a short time frame. So this is where he helps him. Like, he's trying to help him. He's like, he's like, I want you to know that you should be able to answer these questions on how quickly you can produce the documents if they're asked of you, and what the expenses and costs, the burden of the expenses and costs for that. So I feel like he was like already prepping him for the argument on like the merits and all that stuff. And afterwards, he's like, whether it's Lyman or I that asks, we're going to ask, what is the burden of the cost of producing these documents, how long, and in the time frame? And he's like, again, he says, I appreciate your legal arguments. So he said it twice. I appreciate and respect your argument, and I appreciate legal arguments. Given the schedule, be prepared to answer this. 1:05 p.m. So he takes a break. Okay, this is where everybody left. Okay, so he's like, he tells Perez, like, be prepared for that. Okay, so be prepared to answer those questions. Love the word for word, like I'm there. I tried to write it like, I mean, it's not word for word, but it's pretty close to like what was being said. Obviously, this isn't a transcript, but um oh, thank you for Jane. She said she went to every podcast and asked people to subscribe. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Um, love the timestamps. Yeah, well, because I was like, it was like in between, and I would just like jot it down. Oh, Andy and Leanne sent us here to give you some love. Thank you, Crafty. And thank you to Leanne for shouting me out. Who needs a court stenographer when we have CJ? I know, and I'm like, spicy tea, clap back. It was so crazy. I finally was like, girl, you're wasting time and not hearing other words by trying to write this. So 1:05 p.m. Okay, so then that's when everybody thought that it ended, right? Because he's basically like, let's get a date for the next hearing or whatever. I need to talk to my clerk or whatever. So this is 1:05 p.m. He's talking to the clerk. Perez is just still sitting there, and Perez was just, oh, he was such a sight. He was wearing that flower suit, and it was just him all alone on his side. These three, like the old man with the glasses, the young associate in the middle, and then Meryl. So at 1:05 p.m., I noticed they were smiling and laughing like they had won, like it's, he's waiting for like Lyman's probably gonna roll. I don't know. They were happy. They were both, the associate and Meryl were smiling, laughing, talking to each other. And then I put in parentheses, probably thinks they won. Because I didn't really see it as like a winner or loss. I saw it as like a waste of time. I'm like, why did you bring us here? If you're just gonna wait on him and you guys already talked about it, why did you bring us here? What do you think most to say he did not have jurisdiction? I think that Judge I already forgot his name, Bolwer, Judge B. And he was like a really cool judge. We went over what he looks like or whatever, but he reminded me of Uncle Phil. Uncle Phil was like a judge, but he was like super laid back and just like his energy just felt good. I liked him. I liked him. I think that judge called Lyman and probably was like, dude, Perez had good arguments. Or I don't know. Like, I feel like he might have given Perez his flowers, or if he was just like, this is a dad with kids or something. I don't know why. Like, that's my instinct. And I'm just going to Bulwer. He doesn't have jurisdiction, and Judge Bulwer put him in his place. Oh, because I believe it was this argument right here, okay? This is the argument that I believe may have won everything for Perez, because if Judge Bulwer felt this argument was compelling and then he went and told Judge Lyman, so everybody thinks it's over, right? They think that they're just getting a court date for whenever Judge Lyman does rule on jurisdiction, we'll come back, right? So everybody on the left side gets up to leave. Like, everybody gets up to leave. And I was like, I'm not leaving, because I wanted to walk out with Perez, because I didn't want him to feel alone or like defeated or anything. Like when he got up and walked out, I wanted to like give him a pat on the back and be like, dude, you did a great job. The judge even thought so. Like, you're not alone. Like, I wanted there to be somebody. Like, I didn't want the whole room to clear out and then Perez just walks out alone. Like, I was like, no, that's not gonna happen. So I stayed. A couple other people stayed as they're trying to figure out this date. And as they're trying to figure it out, Perez speaks up and he's like, excuse me, I just want to clarify. How is it that Judge Lyman could have jurisdiction over me if Rule 45 non-parties are not in court for jurisdiction? He's basically trying to say Rule 45 says that, the party's jurisdiction would be where they reside or whatever. He's like, and then the judge explained, I would transfer the case so I wouldn't have a conflict with him. He's like, but two courts' jurisdiction has to abide by both courts. So this is when he's explaining to him how jurisdiction works. He's like, this has been resolved by the circuit court. Conflicting orders would have to be abide by on both ends. So then that's why I would just transfer the case, because he's basically saying, like, if I have jurisdiction and he has jurisdiction, then both of us, because he's like, so what does, oh, because that's what Perez said. His question was like, I don't understand what the jurisdiction thing has to do with this case here, because you have jurisdiction over me. So you can't decide whether your jurisdiction, that has nothing to do with whether or not he has jurisdiction. That's what Perez argued. And that's why I'm like, I don't know. I just felt like he knew his shit. Perez knew his shit. Because that's true. He's like, why did you bring us here when this is a case about your jurisdiction? You should be able to make a decision on your jurisdiction, and that's separate. But what he was trying to explain was that, no, because if I rule something and then he still has jurisdiction over you, and then he rules something else, and then it's contradictory, and then you have to follow both, and then it just creates a big old mess. Wasted time and money by waiting. Yes, so Omar said that. Is Omar live right now? Am I intruding on Omar's live? It says, how could you track two orders? It's unattainable. I can't say you can't have jurisdiction. Oh, because he's like, can't, like, how can, he was trying to ask, how can Perez, how can New York have jurisdiction over me at the same time you can? And that's when he explains that that's possible. It's called like a foreign, foreign issues. He's like, he says, I can't go and tell Lyman that he doesn't have jurisdiction over you. Can you still hear me? Because I kind of have like the phone propped up, so I hope that y'all can still hear me. Because the speaker's covered. Not all judges would have been so nice. He was really nice. I felt like he was. Oh, he was on with Leanne earlier. Okay. It says, okay, so where was I? So he's basically saying, only the Second Circuit Court and the Supreme Court can say whether jurisdiction can be had or not. So he's like, I have no say on whether New York has jurisdiction over you. Because basically what Perez was trying to say was that he felt like only Nevada could have jurisdiction over him. Like two courts can't at the same time, but they can. He's like, if I transfer the case, you will appeal it when he rules on the jurisdiction. He's like, I anticipate that he's going to issue this, because then he was like, how do we know it's going to be this week? He was asking really good questions. Please, y'all, go over to Perez's channel and give him his freaking flowers and be like, CJ sent us to give you flowers because she said you did an amazing job, because he did. Because his next question was, well, if you're going to do a court date for Tuesday, how do we know he's going to rule before Tuesday? He hasn't ruled yet. How do we know? Oh, thank you, Carm. You were here from the beginning. Yes, you were. All the day ones, 101 viewers. Yes. Yes, give him his flowers, because he's like, how do we know he's going to rule? And he's like, well, I anticipate. I've already talked to him. I anticipate. So then it turned into a whole argument. Like I'm telling you, it's like it restarted the trial. Because I remember I told Nico, like, it's going to be a short trial. It'll be 20 minutes. And it would have been short because this is already, 105. So it would have been like a, 40-minute trial. But then it restarted because then homegirl Meryl's like, so really quick, Judge, that conversation you guys just had just triggered this thought. I don't know if we're going to avoid foreign issues because he has a motion for a protective order over there, and that's going to, give him jurisdiction on him over there. And, either way, there's going to be foreign issues. There's going to be two separate rulings. And then, so basically the judge is like, well, I agree with you. So he did agree with her on that. He says, I want to just wait before transferring it. And so then they do the date, and she wanted Wednesday. Like, she's like, Wednesday might work better for me because of the holiday. Because he's like, Tuesday or Wednesday. And he's like, Wednesday, because, it's the Labor Day holiday, and, with the traveling and everything, the burden of traveling. And he did not give two flying Fs about her burden of traveling, because he sure enough said Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. How about that? Yeah, and then his exact words was, at the very end, after he set the date, he said, I just want to make it clear that if Judge Lyman does find jurisdiction, this will be vacated. And that was his last words before he left. So that was it, y'all. That was the whole tea. Perez did amazing. He asked the right questions. My gut feeling, and I'm probably wrong, but like this is just my pie in the sky, like of what happened. I feel like Perez did so good that that the judge hashtag free Paris. It's Perez, not Paris Hilton. Um, free Paris. This will be vacated. Wow. So Tuesday, it's vacated. No, he's basically saying that if the judge had found jurisdiction, that he would vacate. Like basically, he would transfer it over, and it would be vacated. That's what he was saying. But because he said no to the jurisdiction, then they're going to argue on the merits on Tuesday. Is what's going to happen, because now he has the LOL. Christina, you're lurking. Well, thank you for all the support, y'all. Let me see who else. Jed's gonna be dismissed. Blake's gonna come up short. I have a feeling too, like, I mean, y'all, if you guys saw the Nevada Shield Law, they're up against a ton, but I'm gonna research the one part that she said that she wants to file a supplemental motion. So look out on the docket for that. They're gonna be working through Labor Day, it seems like, because it was the part where she says, it's the part where she says, where is it? Let me look. This. I'm going to file a supplemental briefing of the 2014 decision committee of the Nevada legislature to consider removing affiliation. So either she was word salading it or I just wrote it down like weird, but it sounds like word salad to me. She's like, I'm thinking that it might be beneficial for me to file a supplemental briefing. We've uncovered, that's what she wrote, because I was like, what's that word? We've uncovered a 2014 decision of the committee of the Nevada legislature to consider, the remaining affiliation, because there was an affiliation. I remember she said something about that they were to consider removing affiliation, which meant, was there a decision? Oh, because she said they had studied. So I don't know why I didn't write this down, but it's all coming back to me. That they had studied how the Nevada Shield Law got made. So this is tea, y'all. What else is going on? Hold on. Great job today. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Neto34. Appreciate it. Can they subpoena Megan again then? I don't think they can. What was your opinion of her experience? Whose experience? What do you mean regarding Jed in Nevada? Okay. 4:25 a.m. here. Hi, CJ. Oh, all the late people who came and supported me. Joe, thank you. You're a day one. I appreciate you. They didn't withdraw Megan. So from what I understand, they didn't withdraw her. They let me plug this in because it's about to die, y'all. I'm at 1%. I'm about to lose, y'all. Luckily I saw that. Okay. And then for some reason my phone is overheating, so I don't know what is going on. But they didn't withdraw it. It was like she didn't, and this is my understanding of it, that she didn't reply, so it was just like moot because there was no reply from Blake Lively. So like the timeline came and went. Time expired for Megan now. That's how I thought. We're ready for the next tea on Tuesday. Yeah, I feel like I did really good with my notes because I felt like I really like captured what was going on. Like I captured the scene, and like I always think about like journalist style. Because I mean I've dabbed in journalism. I was sports editor for my high school, and I was yearbook editor as well. So you know there was a little bit of journalism there. But they always teach you like the senses, like the five senses, like what does it look like, what does it smell like like be descriptive or whatever. And so that's what I try to do, like what the room looked like. Like I said, there was two sides. There was this like little silver dots for the clock. And the judge, like I don't know, I just really liked the judge. The judge came up there, like he didn't even like. I thought like we were like all rise, like people just left. I'm like, isn't that disrespectful? I thought that like once you're in the court, like you can't leave or walk out or do anything like that until like the judge leaves. Like I don't know. I thought it was like a respect thing. I was like, ooh, them people get in trouble. But then I think it was already like over. They were just deciding the But I thought that maybe because that's just criminal court where, like, then they're like, all rise again. Because we did have to all rise when he entered. But when he left, we didn't. He was just like, all right, and that's it. And he was just still sitting there. So, because I was expecting, like, I, like, rose up thinking, like, okay, we're going to stand up and he's going to leave. But then I was just standing there and it was like, oh, no, he's not going to leave. The power suit was everything. Oh, my God, so damn cute. Yes, I'm going to be there on Tuesday. Yeah, his suit was so cute. I loved it. It was way better in person too, because it was like, oh, and the shoes, and shout out to Nico. He got me tons of B-roll footage, so I'll be putting that out as soon as he emails it to me. But he got, like, close-ups of the shoes and stuff. The shoes said Perez Hilton on them. Hi, everybody. Okay, so anyways, I guess we're getting close to, what, an hour and a half here. I'm going to go eat some dinner. If you guys have any questions or anything. Oh, I looked great in my power suit. Oh, I thought y'all were talking about Perez's power suit. Let me see. Thank you so much. You did great. Thanks for everything. Oh, thank you, Missy. Thanks for showing up and supporting. So yeah, so now then can you do the facial expression of the judge staring at Marilyn? He was like what were you talking about? Like, okay, hold on, let me try it one more time. Hold on. I want to, like, get it right, but he was like what? Like, it was almost awkward to me, like, when he was staring at her, because I was like, okay, what is he doing? Like, he was just like, and then it got, like, real silent, like, he was like, okay, like, I don't know, like, he was clocking her in his mind or something. But yeah, it was something like that. CJ in her Elle Woods era. Yeah, and I knew what they were talking about because I had researched the Nevada shield law. So when he's talking about, like, Rule 45 and all that stuff, I was like, oh, I know that one. Oh, I know that one. I was like the Leo meme. I was pointing out, like, I know that one too. But I didn't know this. Let me go look real quick, y'all. Like, some quick tea. Let me see if I can find it. Nevada shield law 2014 decision. Was it legislative decision? Legislative decision. So, no, it wasn't him that said it. It was her. It was Meryl. She's like, let me reread it, because this is the tea, and it might be, was the courtroom full? The left side was pretty much all the way full. The right side was about halfway full. There was about 40 people there, from what I counted. Roughly, like 38. Because a couple more people came. So I'm going to just say 40 because a couple more people came in late. So wait, what was it? It's right here. Like, I cannot express how good I felt like Perez did. And I know that it was like the one part where, they were asking him about, like, what's the burden, and he wasn't answering, like, what the actual burden on himself was. He was talking about the subpoena and stuff. And I know that, a lot of people were like, that he was asking about but even with that little hiccup, I still felt like he did good, especially at the end. Those two questions. I mean, I felt like that jurisdiction question might have been what, because he's like, what does it matter who has jurisdiction here? And how do we know about the ruling? I don't know. I felt like those two last questions really made him think. Who was on what side? I don't know if there was sides, like, in criminal court, because I feel like maybe because there was already people on one side, like, maybe people just sat wherever. Because at first I thought this is Blake's side, this is whatever, but then people came in late that were, like, pro Perez that ended up sitting on the right side. So I don't know. She's trying to stop the shield law. Yeah, so this is, let me see, Nevada legislature. The second meeting it was held on March 27th, 2014. Let me see, on the Nevada shield law. I misspelled shield. She says, depending on the ruling and appeal, we could be back here next week. That's what the judge had said. Okay, sorry. The phone. He's like, depending on the ruling and the appeal, we could be back here next week, because Perez basically told him, I'm going to appeal that ruling. If he rules that I'm in his jurisdiction, I'm going to appeal that, because no, I'm not. And so he's like, but we could be back here next week. And then she says, it may be beneficial to file a supplemental briefing because we've uncovered a 2014 decision on the committee that was made by the committee of the Nevada legislature to consider removing affiliation. Affiliation of what? The Nevada Shield Law? So I don't know if I just miswrote that, y'all. I'm going to research that for you guys. What did she say about the formation? I didn't write that part down. I don't know how I didn't miss it, but she was basically like, she had said that they had uncovered something about the formation. She's like, because all I wrote was it may be beneficial to file a supplemental briefing because we uncovered a 2014 decision made by the committee of the Nevada legislature to consider removing affiliation. But I remember it had to do in regards to the Nevada Shield Law because she's basically saying like we found something in regards to the Nevada Shield Law. So, but I didn't write down exactly what her wording was prior to that. I don't know why. Oh, you're welcome, Lillian. Always. Was the left side Perez? Yeah, the left side would have been Perez's side. The right side was her side. So the left side was the side that was full. But I don't know that it was like that. So I don't know if it was just people were sitting wherever because it was really, really hot in there, y'all. Like you did not want to be like elbow to elbow with someone. You wanted space in between them. So there were people who supported Blake there who supports her. I don't know if they were or not, if it was assigned. Okay, I found it. We have to talk about this later. This was old and considered and not necessarily current. What was it about, DFJ? Like, does it have legs or no? Maybe we'll do a show tomorrow afternoon. I know I want to go on Ashley Brianna Eve's channel and talk to her a little bit about what went down. Who was on what side? Okay, I already answered that. Okay, so I think no legs, says DFJ. Okay. Yeah, send it to me on X. Did you already send it to me? So I can read it because I was just like, ooh, I was sat for that. Like, what do you mean? What we uncovered? Oh yeah, on the news of Perez. Well, we couldn't find you. You guys, my phone overheated. So yeah, and then I know that the videos weren't public or whatever. So I don't know how to prevent this overheating of the phone. It's overheating right now. I thought it was just the heat, but it's overheating right now. So I don't know what's going on. Because they added it in 2019, says who had 100% likes to watchers? I did. Oh, that's so sweet. They added that they're protected. Yes, obviously we're a really tight community, Amsterling. So yes, we're here to support each other. Yes, we'll do a follow-up with DFJ. Maybe me and DFJ can do a show tomorrow because she's really smart when it comes to the Perez. She knows the Perez docket really well. Y'all saw her pull up that docket 5 because I'm like, docket 5? I thought it was like 500, but I'm thinking the Blake Baldoni docket that's in the 600s because I was like, docket 5? Which one's docket 5? I was like, what is she talking about? But yeah, maybe me and DFJ can go into that argument that they might be bringing up on Tuesday. Y'all tell us about the on-camera review coming up too. I think there are 3 issues being reviewed. Leanne kept mentioning you in my channel. It's hard to find. It's C Journalist 24 on all platforms. I know the tag isn't the easiest to remember because some people look up CJ Journalist 24 or whatever, but I might change it to @CJ Reports. Somebody suggested that to change it to @CJ Reports. But I feel like I don't know. It's like I have the same one on all platforms, but I'll consider it and see whether I just change it to be easier to find. But I'm the same thing on all platforms, on TikTok, everywhere. So don't change it. I like it. I like the C Journalist because it's CJ like in the front, and then it's like, you know, so that's why I'm like C Journalist, CJ Investigators. No, because that's like BJ Investigates. She has a channel, Surprise Witness, BJ Investigates. It's way less than even Diddy. It's 700 is the docket. You were spamming the chat today with it. Thank you. I don't know. Am I saying thank you or because we love the spamming. Sometimes it doesn't vent. No, I don't have a phone case. I was actually going to get a phone case because I'm like, I think it was the sun that was overheating it. Um, it could be like a memory thing or something. I don't know. Maybe it has a virus. Because I remember the last time that my phone was overheating, it had a virus. Blake put, or Mr. Chaperone, put a virus on my phone. Okay. You also didn't close your stream? Which stream? Which stream did I not close? Wait, did I not close my stream? Which one? Oh, I didn't close it? Did it just keep going? Which stream? The first live? The first one before court? Oh, I didn't close it? So what? It was just in my purse? It was just reloading. What does that mean? Oh, because I was like, I was talking to a bunch of people. Okay, so it wasn't like still going. It just wasn't. What do you mean closed? Spinning but not filming. So you guys couldn't hear anything. Okay. Oh, okay. Because I was like, I was talking to like Perez and Ari and all kinds of people. Okay, cool. So not closing the stream is why it wasn't showing up on my feed. Oh, okay. So how do I close it? It said it was private if it's the one I try to click. Maybe it burned my battery. Okay, well, I'm going to call it a night because I was like, girl, you scared me. Like, what? I didn't close the stream. Okay, so maybe I have to figure out how to close the streams when I just hit X. I wonder how do you close it out? It wasn't saved. You and I talked about it earlier. No, but we just talked about it because they were private because I didn't know, like even this one, I didn't know. I just hit live, so I don't know how to like make it public or whatever. It doesn't have an option like on StreamYard. Because I've been following you for months and you weren't in my feed after. I think you have to save it. Okay. Good night. I'm not a bot. I'm actually gonna head out myself too. You have to save it as public. Well, when I hit X, it doesn't have like a save. I ended up having to go into YouTube Studio to make it public. Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much. The one. Swipe out of your phone. Okay. See y'all in the lives tomorrow. Yeah, I'll try and get on the lives. Make sure y'all go check out Ashley Brianna Eve tomorrow. She's got the Bushbirds on her channel. Obviously the usual suspects. I don't know about going live tomorrow. I know that after 4 I have some stuff to do. And I'm gonna sleep in. So I'm not sure when I'll be going live, maybe Saturday again. Give y'all a break for my face. I'll go live maybe Saturday, maybe tomorrow with a DFJ for the Perez stuff, or maybe we'll do it on Saturday. I'm not sure. That way y'all don't get live burnout. Okay, thank you, Casey. Thank you, T. You did amazing. Thank you, DFJ. Kenny, have a good day. Night now. I'm gonna have dinner. Everyone have a great night. Keep the good work up, everyone. Yes. Perez rocked. Literally, he rocked. Like y'all saw it, he rocked. And again, for the people who weren't here, really quick, we're just gonna recap that one little part. What was his exact words? He respected. I appreciate and respect your arguments. So he was, yeah, he was like, you got some good legal arguments here. I will. And so y'all know, like I'll be like bye bye bye, and then I don't go by. So I'm just gonna hurry up and click it because otherwise I'll keep reading. I'm not a bot. I'm not a bot. Came back. She said good night, and then she came back. Love this chat in your lives. Yes, thank you so much. All right, I'm gonna click it, y'all. Have a good night.